Factoring trinomials using trial and error. Let's look at this trinomial. The first thing you should always try in a trinomial is see if there is a GCF. Unfortunately, in this one there is not a GCF, and this one is a little harder than the ones in our other lesson because it has a coefficient of the square term that is not a 1. But we'll go ahead and try to work with it. Since it is a trinomial, we know it comes from a FOIL problem, so we can do our two sets of parentheses to get the binomials. Also, we can put in our signs. Our sign rules are just like for the other trinomials. We look at the last sign. If it's positive, it says our signs are alike and sends us back to take the sign of the middle term. So we're going to have both positive in this one. Now, we're going to have to worry about a 3 this time instead of just the x squared. But 3 is not such a bad number because there's only one way. It's a prime number. So we'll try a 3 and 1. We'll go ahead and put those in. So a 3, and we'll still split the x's. Now we have 2 places left, and we're looking at the 2. We can either try 2 and 1, or we might have to switch the order. The reason for both orders is that whichever number goes in this last spot will multiply by a 3 instead of by a 1, which is what we did in the easier trinomials. So we have to just put them in and check. The other thing that is messed up with these trinomials is you can't look through the list and just see how to get a 7, because one of the numbers will multiply by the 3 instead of just by a 1. So you actually will have to test them to see what works. By testing, I mean check and do outside and inside. So 2 pieces of the foil. On the outside, we have 3x. Inside, 2x. Combine, and that gives us 5x. We were trying to get a 7x, so this one does not work. So we have to try the other choice. You cannot assume that the other choice would work. So we'll keep the signs, keep the 3x and the x, and we're going to switch and try 1 and 2. Now we'll check outside and inside. On the outside, 6x, inside, plus 1x gives us 7x. That works. So this one is the correct choice. Let's look at another example. So we have a trinomial. There is no GCF. So we'll go ahead with our parentheses. And we'll do our signs. So go to your last sign. Plus says our signs are like. And we'll look back. So this time we need both minus. And we're working on a 3. So our choices are 3 and 1. And we'll split the x's. On the other end, we will try 2 and 1 or 1 and 2. And we just start trying things. So if we try the 2 and 1, and then we're going to check on the outside and the inside. Outside, minus 3x. Inside, minus 2x. Combine, like signs gives minus 5x. This one works, so we don't have to look at the other choice. When you find the right one, you get to stop. Let's look at another example. So we check the trinomial for a GCF. There's not one, so we'll go ahead and do our sets of parentheses. And we'll do our signs. Last sign is negative. That says we're going to have different signs. Again, we're working on a 3 for our first term, so we'll try the 3 and 1 and split the x's. And at the end, we're working on a 2, so we'll try 2 and 1 or 1 and 2. And we just try something, so we'll try the 2 and 1. We'll check on the outside, minus 3x, inside plus 2x gives a negative 1x. This one is totally the wrong number. We're trying to get a 5, so we'll go to the next choice. So we'll keep our first terms and we'll keep our signs, and we'll switch to 1 and 2. And we're going to check outside and inside. Outside minus 6x, inside plus 1x gives a negative 5x. This one almost works. We're getting the 5, but we have the wrong sign. Notice we want to get back a positive 5x. Once you're at this point, all you have to do to make it work is switch your signs. The one that you had as plus should be minus, and the one that you had as minus should be plus, and then it will work. So let's try it. Now we want this one to be minus and this one plus. We keep everything else the same, and we'll do our check. On the outside, 6x, inside minus 1x. Now we're getting the positive 5x, and that works. Let's look at one more example using something different than the 3 at the beginning. So we look at our trinomial. There is no GCF. That should always be your first thought process. We'll go ahead and do our parentheses. And we'll do our signs. The last sign is plus. It says your signs are alike. Look back. So our signs are both going to be positive. We're working on a 6, so we can try 6 and 1 or 3 and 2. We don't have to do both orders on both sides, so I only do both orders on the right-hand side. If you do both orders on both sides, all it does is move the parentheses around. So it's only necessary to do it on one side. On the other side, we will try 5 and 1 or 1 and 5. So first we'll try the 6 and 1, and we'll still split the x's. We'll try it with 5 and 1, and we check. Outside, 6x, inside plus 5x gives 11x. We're trying to get to 17, so this does not work. We'll go to the next choice. You want to use up the 6 and 1. Go back to it to finish your entire list. The most important thing is to learn to be very systematic. You don't want to skip around. So we're going to try 1 and 5, and we'll check. On the outside, getting a 30x. This one looks too big. Plus 1x, 31x. We're trying to get 17, so this does not work. Now we've used up the 6 and 1. We're ready to try the 3 and 2. So we'll do our parentheses. We'll do our signs just like before. 3x, 2x. And we'll start with the 5 and 1 so that we're very orderly. Check. On the outside, 3x. Inside, plus 10x. 13x. Does not work. We have to try the other choice. We can't assume that it works. So we still have the 3 and 2. Like signs, and we're trying 1 and 5. Check. 15x on the outside plus 2x equals 17x. This is what we wanted, so this one is the correct answer. Some of the problems do take a long time. Some of them you find quicker. Just remember to be very systematic. That's the most important thought process that you learn from this type of factoring.